Good morning, dear friends. Here we are for another study of the book Right Path by the Spirit Emmanuel through the blessed mediumship of Francisco Candido Xavier. What a blessing to be here with you. One more chapter, and we thank both Emmanuel and Chico Xavier for bringing us these teachings in our lives, for our lives. This book, which was published initially in the 1970s, 1971 is this book, coming to you firsthand in English by the translation of the Spirit Society of Richmond's friend and in collaboration with Kardec Radio. What a blessing to be with you. And today's chapter is titled Affections. That's chapter 53 of the book. And what is Emmanuel going to tell us about our affections? We'll see. Quote, "We will devote ourselves to beloved family members and friends. However, we must always observe the exact point in which we'll be led by life circumstances to face non-transferable problems and struggles. Who will not need an effective support when Christ himself, in crossing the earthly endeavors, do not dispense the help of his companions in the apostolate? It will not be lawful to forget our own need for affection. Nevertheless, let us still see in Jesus the lesson of personal testimony in difficult times. Now, no matter how many admirers he had, none of them took his place in the supreme time. So are we." Wow. Unquote for now. So he's saying here, affections. How much time are we devoting to our beloved family members and friends, in helping them, in supporting them, in counting on their help to us? That is a blessed opportunity for us to work with contentment and gratitude. Even if today we're not in touch with them, due to life circumstances, they still came together, our relatives, our parents, their parents, so that you and I could have our physical life today. So we dedicate ourselves to them. Yes, there will be times in our lives that the struggles and the problems we face, Emmanuel is saying, they are non-transferable. Just like if I bought a ticket for something and says non-transferable, I cannot give it to someone to experience that. I have to take it. And we think about how many untransferable life circumstances that we call problems and struggles. They could be also seen as opportunities to grow that we have, that only you and I can go through. Only we can face that problem, face that opportunity for growth, and be literally on our knees. And I have to make a decision. I have to move forward. I have to choose to dedicate myself to something or amend something in my life. And he's reminding us, who will not need help even if Christ counted on the help of his companions? Remember, he chose 12 main apostles and all of the other folks that worked with them. If you go to the book Paul and Stephen, you're going to see that Simon Peter, Paul, Saul, Barnabas, they all had many collaborators that also helped spread the good news of the Christ. But even Christ counted on his apostles. So who are we to think that we don't need the help? So if today you go about your day or night and you find yourself with difficulties, think, is this something that is this problem and non-transferable struggle that I have to go to? Yes, no. And even if it's so, nobody else can go through for you, but they can support us. And we need to be humble to understand that nobody will take up our own cross. We have to give our own testimony, just as Jesus did. And Emmanuel will continue the chapter by saying, quote, "Beloved ones will encourage us in the performance of our duties, but they will not be able to fulfill them for us." And he will give two examples. Teachers prepare the student, but they don't go through those students' profession struggles. And parents, this part I will read, he says, even parents who offer themselves in Holocaust for the happiness of their children cannot keep them for their own experiences, given the varied causes of those experiences in their current activities or those that originate in past reincarnations, unquote, from Emmanuel. How many of us going through the blessed experience of fatherhood or motherhood are trying to remove all obstacles from our children's life to provide them with this happiness, yet there are things they have to go through. They have learning opportunities that are only theirs, that we cannot remove from them. We have to support them when they go through, because Emmanuel is saying to us, those causes of our problems and struggles and those of our loved ones, our family members, our children, could be something we did in this life that now we're reaping, or something we did many lifetimes ago that now we're ready to go through. And we support them, but we can't go through. We have to let them figure that problem out with our help and support. Be the safety net, not the hammock, as we say, right? So what to do? What are we going to do? What is Emmanuel's recommendation? And this book is, the more I study it for the preparation of this studies here on Tuesday mornings, or whatever time you're watching this on demand, that I hope you are watching and listening to it on demand. Emmanuel has always a statement of something that he found that we and I are experiencing. And then he'll give very practical examples, like the teacher and the parents. And then he will give us practical tips on how to go about our daily lives when we face those problems. He says, let us love our family members and friends, however, without demanding one day that they do the work that is ours to realize. If we are going through struggles, it's our duty to do that work. They cannot do it for us. And he continues, Emmanuel continues, all of them will probably be admirable creatures in understanding and virtue, but they do not know the most intimate fights as far as we are not aware of theirs, unquote. So as much as they want to help, and they can help and support as much as we help and support, we don't know what are the intimate struggles that people go through, because we don't know their life histories, we don't know their past reincarnations, and we cannot make judgment, but we can support. We can reach out. We can give them contacts of psychologists, psychiatrists. We can help them with fraternal counseling. We can give them the national hotline for suicide if they're suicidal. There's so many things that you and I can do. We can give them material things if they need. We can donate their time to support them in their homes, and we should. And I'll leave us with a quote from Emmanuel that from the last paragraph of this chapter, 53, titled Affections. Let us help one another by accepting our path, knowing, however, how to spare them the unnecessary sufferings of living in the obstacles that concern us. So if we are creating, unquote, if you're creating obstacles in the lives of others, we need to remove our loved ones from those unnecessary sufferings. And Emmanuel will tell us why. Quote, this is because our affections help us in the visible part of our difficulties. However, it's urgent to recognize that they are not capable of solving for us the deep problems that we carry in the impenetrable intimacy of our hearts, where we are absolutely insulated, encapsulated, delivered to our own conscience and the judgment of God. Unquote. So they can help us, we can help them, but we cannot solve their problems. We can support them in their problems. They cannot solve our problems, our difficulties, things you and I did. We use our free will in past lives, in this life, and today we're faced with situations. So, dear friends, I hope this morning, this afternoon, this night, this message from Emmanuel can bring you much consolation. That not only we can go through the difficulties in our lives, but we can also gather together and band together to help one another solve those problems. And I hope that between now and the next time we meet, God willing, I'll be back with you again for another chapter of the book, Right Path. We can find in the solace of our hearts, in the solitude of our hearts, the deserts we cross, the love and care for God, of God for all of us. May you feel loved, may you feel well, may you feel embraced by Jesus' messengers who help us each and every day. And until next week, when we'll see you again, God willing, stay well, stay safe. I'll see you soon.